Does God want you to suffer? No. Does God want me to suffer? No. Lesson 235. God, in his mercy, wills that I be saved. 235. God, in his mercy, wills that I be saved. So that's not suffering. I need but look upon all things that seem to hurt me, and with perfect certainty assure myself, God wills that I be saved from this, and merely watch them disappear. So, are we ready? Do you have a list of things that seem to hurt you? God wills that I be saved from this. Say it. Look at that list. God wills that I be saved from this, and merely watch them disappear. I need but keep in mind my Father's will for me is only happiness, to find that only happiness has come to me. And I need but remember that God's love surrounds his Son and keeps his sinlessness forever perfect, to be sure that I am saved and safe forever in his arms. I am the Son he loves, and I am saved because God, in his mercy, wills it so. So the little prayer is, Father, your holiness is mine. Your love created me and made my sinlessness forever part of you. I have no guilt nor sin in me, for there is none in you. So if we're part of God, and things like sin and guilt can't be in God, then they really truly can't be in us. So we just sort of say, your holiness is mine. Love, your love created me. And then we accept that as truth. And then if there's anything that we're perceiving in our life that is trying to hurt us, torture us, make us feel guilty, whatever, just say, God wills that I be saved from this. God in his mercy wills that I be saved. And that is 235. Tina Jesus for lesson 235 said, God does not focus or hold on to the past. Not one bit. God is not ever focusing on the past. So why should you? Why should you focus on the past when God is not? Do you want to recreate the past again? Jesus encourages us today to look at our relationship to guilt. Who do we condemn as being guilty? How do we see ourselves as being guilty? What does our relationship to guilt look like? Basically, guilt, when you see guilt, you're saying that that shouldn't have happened. That's essentially what you're saying. And in a sense, that is very arrogant, Jesus said, because you're judging God. You think you know better than God. But here's the truth of it all. Everything is a valid experience because you all have free will. So if it happened, it was supposed to happen. It was a valid experience. It happened. That's what free will's all about. God gave it to us and we run with it. So don't waste your time and your energy condemning and judging and saying that shouldn't have happened. Well, it did happen, and you might as well move on with it, just like God. So this takes radical forgiveness. Don't waste your time and energy focusing on the past. Move on to new creations, just like God. Yep, just like God. Stay in the now. God does not focus or hold on to the past, so why should you? And that is a very direct question. Do you want to recreate the past again? So this past that you're judging, that you're condemning, that you're saying that should have never happened, do you want to recreate that again? Because essentially that's exactly what you're doing. When you're focusing on the past, you're going to project more of that in the future. Fill in the blanks. Yeah, you didn't like it then, you're not going to like it now, and you're not going to like doing it again and again to yourself. That's why we've been saying that suffering is your responsibility if you want to keep perpetuating it or not. Or not. So that was an interesting Teen of Jesus one, it saying that God does not worry about the past. He's busy making new creations. It kind of contradicts some of the other stuff that they say, I feel like, because I've heard Teen of Jesus say God doesn't even focus here at all. Right? So, but then he's really not. We're the ones that are creating, so it's bottom line, how are you creating today? Bottom line, what are you focusing on? You know too much now to hold on to unforgiveness, holding on to resentments, holding on to past pain of the past. Why? Because now that's what you're focusing on. You understand that's what you're going to create more of. Whatever you focus on is what you are putting your energy into. You don't want to grow that anymore. You don't want to know that anymore. You've had that experience. It was valid. It was supposed to happen. Radical forgiveness. Let it go. pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 235 Insights. God in His mercy wills that I be saved. What God wills is what is true. What God wills is what is real. God is love, and love extends only love. We are all extensions of love, and only this is what is true. This is what is real. As we were created as love, we are still perfect and innocent. This is God's will. We are saved because it is God's will, and what is not God's will cannot exist. Our remembrance of this brings to our awareness the truth that we are love immersed in love. We are safe in love, and this cannot change because only love is real. Illusions of separation from love could never be real. That is why we are saved. In truth, we were never lost. In illusions of separation, we can believe we are lost, but as soon as we are willing to lay these illusions down, we will see that love could never change and be the opposite of love. Love is constant. Love is eternal. We are saved because we are love, and God's will ensures that this is true. Let me remember this today. When I stray to thinking that something other than love has really happened, let me return to remembering that only love is real. Remembering the truth brings happiness, joy, and peace. I will to align my will with God's will. I will to remember the truth. One of the central ideas offered repeatedly in the Course is that thoughts do not and cannot leave their source. If their source is reality, they remain in reality. If their source is illusion, they remain illusions. If their source is love, they remain love. That is why it is God's will that I be saved. It is simply another way of saying that I cannot leave my source. To be myself, I must remain love as I was created and which I am still one with. I cannot leave love. God is happiness. I cannot truly leave happiness. I can be unaware of happiness if I believe in an illusion of being separate, but happiness still surrounds me and remains what I am. Belief in illusion can make it appear that there is a force opposing the will of God. Most religions of the world incorporate this idea of a dark side that opposes God. This dark side is always engaged in battle, and God must be constantly defending against it. One of the essential ingredients for movies to be successful at the box office is that they must in some way incorporate conflict between the light and the dark. Without that conflict, it is not interesting enough to draw an audience. The ego thrives on conflict because conflict appears to make the dark side real, and so it appears in most religions of the world. I am not aware of any other teaching that says the dark side, the fallen angel, and a seeming force opposing God cannot be real. Yet it is the recognition of its unreality that brings us freedom. It releases us from illusions, so we may once again know God's will for us is perfect happiness. We have never and could never leave our source. We remain in happiness, in love, in God, untainted by any illusion of separation or guilt. This is so because thoughts leave not their source, and I am grateful this is so. Pathwaysoflight.org. But with our free will, we are certainly allowed to play out the dark forces in our script that we are creating, writing, manifesting every day. So I think it is really a good idea today to look at what you are creating. What story are you playing out? What story script do you keep on perpetuating? Do you need a villain in your life? Do you need the conflict in your story to make it interesting to your ego who loves it, just gobbles it up? God in his mercy wills that I be saved. So the light's going to win in your life eventually. Sooner than later would be nicer for you. So look upon all things that seem to hurt you, and with a certainty say to yourself, God wills that I be saved from this. And merely watch it disappear. Merely watch them disappear. All the things that you conjured up to hurt you, watch them disappear when you say, God wills that I be saved from this. God wills that I be saved from this. You look right at it and you say, God wills that I be saved from this, and watch them disappear. So God only wants happiness for you. And then you just accept the very fact that only happiness is going to come to you. And it is done. It is so. So you are surrounded by love. You are safe. You're sinless forever and perfect. So just take it all in. Take all the freaking words in to be sure that I am saved and safe forever in his arms. However you want to look at it. You are safe. You are fine. Everything is okay. All is well. Right? You are love. You are loved. And really, that is all you ever could ever be. So you're holy. You've been created by love. You're forever sinless. You have no guilt nor sin in you. Okay? Because there's none in God. So that's your lesson today. Lesson 235. Just chugging along. God in his mercy wills that I be saved. So that's that.